The title of this video is "The Grass is Always Greener. Is there a better fire pager out there?" We oftentimes get this question here at PNW about what is the better fire pager, which one should I get. Oftentimes it evolves around the current pager I have has had a lot of problems, or our department has pager X and we keep sending it off for repair. Do you have something better? Well, there isn't really a best fire pager out there. There are different fire pagers, there's different brands, they have different options, different features, but they all pretty much do the same thing. And what we tell customers is get the pager that has the functionality that you want. If you want a pager that has a display on the front, that has some fancy buttons that you can press, well, get that pager. You want a simple pager that's easy to operate? Well, get a pager like that. Don't worry about, is this pager better than the other pager? How do you even define better? Do you mean better reception, better functionality, better battery life, better in what respect? So it's really hard to put a value on what is better than the other because it's really subjective. Which one is better to one person may not be better to the other person. And so we try to recommend to customers to buy based on the functionality of the pager. Certain brands of pagers have different functions. They are easier to use or possibly more difficult to use depending on how you would like to use the pager. Some people don't want to scroll through a menu and select things on a display pager. They just want to turn a knob to turn up the volume or switch a knob to change the channel. Well, other customers like the functionality of being able to select many different options and functions on the pager. So what we recommend is simply going with the pager that you would like to use the best and not worry about the reception, the durability of the pager. And while that may seem odd not to worry about the reception or the durability, most of the pagers out there are going to be very, very similar to each other. That doesn't mean they're going to be exactly the same. There could be some pagers that receive a little bit better, some pagers that have a little bit better durability, but by and large most of them are going to be pretty close to each other. And if you think about it, all these pagers and all this electronic equipment is made in one place. It's all made in China or over in Asia someplace, and they all use a very similar equipment, very similar machines. The housings are essentially the same type of plastic. The pagers are assembled overseas. They're made to similar standards, and so it's really hard to say pager A is so much better than pager B because really they're very close to being similar or the same. So the reason for this video titled "The Grass is Always Greener" is we oftentimes get customers who believe that their particular pager or their pager that the fire department is using somehow is not as good as somebody else's pager. It oftentimes comes up during life that you have something, maybe a car or a house or whatnot, and you look at somebody else's and say, well, theirs is so much better in different aspects. And the same thing happens with these pagers. You have a pager, maybe you've used it for many years, and you've had a problem here and there with it, and you go, boy, I bet that other pager works so much better than the one I've been using. Realistically, it probably doesn't. It's probably going to be very similar to yours. We get customers all the time that tell us, oh, I don't like this pager, and oftentimes it's a Motorola pager simply because there's so many Motorola pagers out there. So we'll get a customer call up and say, oh, I really don't like those Minitor 5s. The Minitor 4s work much better. And we get customers, oh, these Minitor 5s work much better than the 4s. And we have other customers that call up and want the 2s. And which is the better pager? It really is very subjective. So when you're looking to get a new pager, you should look for the functionality of the pager. Don't try to get something else because your old pager has problems, or the manufacturer, oftentimes Motorola, because they're so large, gets the blame. One of the things about looking at different pagers and determining which pager might be best for you or your department is to look at the company behind the pager, not just the pager itself. A good example is looking at Motorola. You know that 10 years from now, Motorola is still going to be here. 10 years from now, Motorola is still going to make electronic equipment. What kind of electronic equipment they're going to be making? We don't know for sure. Most likely they're still going to be making radios. They're probably going to still be making pagers of some sort. What about the other manufacturers? There's a number of other companies out there that make these type of fire pagers. Are they going to be here in 5 years? Are they going to be here in 10 years? What happens if they decide next week they don't want to sell these anymore? What happens next month, next year, when your 5-year warranty you bought for that pager? Well, if the company decides they don't want to do any more work on these pagers, you're out of luck. With Motorola, at least you know Motorola is going to be here for a good long time. You have a 5-year warranty, well, they're going to be here for 5 years, and you're going to be for sure to get that pager fixed for the next 5 years. In fact, you're going to be almost guaranteed you're going to get that pager fixed for the next 10, probably 20 years. That there's going to be so many parts available, so many used pagers on the market that we can take, say, scrap boards out of or pieces and parts and continue to fix your pager for a really long time. Can you say the same thing about these other companies that have fire pagers out there? What happens in 5 years or 10 years? So those are the type of things you want to look at when you're looking at getting a new pager. But one of the things that Motorola's done is they've been in this business for a very long time. The Minitor 6 has just come out, and on the screen here you'll see the Minitor 4, the Minitor 5, and the Minitor 6. You notice similarities between them. Well, they all look about the same. They have 2 knobs on the top, a squelch button, a light, a speaker in the front, and there's a reason for that. Motorola has determined that most people who use these pagers want functionality. They want ease of use. They want to be able to just turn a knob and the pager turns on. Turn a knob to make the volume go up or down. Turn a knob to change it from vibrate to alert. Motorola, being a big electronics company, could have made this Minitor 6 into a smartphone type device with a fancy display on the front and graphics and all kinds of other little doodads. But they didn't. They chose purposely not to do that because that gets in the way of using the pager. You'll see other pagers out there, and there may be new ones in the future, that have all kinds of crazy things that you can do with the pager and all kinds of different programming settings you can do. And if that's something you want, then there's no reason you shouldn't get that pager. But Motorola has decided they don't want to do that with the Minitor 6. They decided they want to keep with the simplistic function. They wanted to keep with the 2 knobs, a light, and a battery, and a speaker. And that's all you really need in a pager. So when you're looking at getting another pager, keep in mind the grass is not always greener. In fact, it's just about the same. If you go from one manufacturer to the other manufacturer, you'll likely find, or you're going to have very similar results. You're going to have similar issues with the pager. You're going to have similar problems with the pager. And they may not be exactly the same, as each pager has its own unique problems or issues. But you're going to find that there isn't a perfect pager, that there is no such thing as a better pager. There's just different pagers. So when you're ready to order a new pager, you can give us a call at 800-822-2180. and we can go over all the different options and different pagers that we offer. One pager I wanted to point out on this video that we do sell is the new Motorola Minitor 6. The Minitor 6 pager has just been introduced by Motorola. It replaces the Minitor 5 pager, and we currently have the Minitor 6 pager for sale at $369 each, and that's for a one-channel pager with stored voice. It includes the vibrator, the standard charger, and a battery pack. The price itself of $369 is about the same price as the Minitor 5 pager was, but the Minitor 5 pager did not have stored voice. So you're getting a new pager with stored voice for about the same price as the Minitor 5 pager was. One other thing that is included with this Minitor 6 is a 2-year warranty. The Minitor 5 pager had a 1-year warranty. The 6 comes with a 2-year warranty now. This is our current pricing of the Minitor 6 pager. The pager itself is $369. It includes a 1-channel with stored voice, a vibrator, standard charger, and a battery pack. You could get a 5-channel model for an extra $45. If you needed an intrinsically safe version, which you likely don't need, most people are not going to need that, but if you did need intrinsically safe, that adds $50 to the price. The amp charger and antenna are also available at $85 extra. The 3-year warranty and a 5-year warranty are available as an extra. The prices for all these items are available on our website at pwservice.com. We do give quantity discounts from the prices shown, so be sure to go to our website if you're looking for higher quantities of these pagers, or you can give us a call at 800-822-2180.